All right, y'all, before we start, because some of y'all be tripping, under the advice of counsel, I got to add that the views, thoughts, opinions that are expressed on this podcast are mine and mine alone. They do not represent my employer. All right, let's go.
Because I was like, damn, do we really want to get into this discussion? Because if we get into this discussion right here, y'all.
What's up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Ridgemont Forest Finest, the podcast. And today we got a good one. So y'all know the other day I made this video on TikTok talking about Black women administrators, Black female principals, and it got so much buzz. This is probably like the second or third time we've done a series about Black women administrators and how sometimes we are our own worst enemies. We are the worst to work for. And we got a lot of comments, got a lot of video, but today, y'all, I got some people in the building, some educators and former educators that has had some personal experience. A couple of us have had some personal experiences with the same person that shall never be named. And so we're here to talk about it. So today I got the professor. Y'all know the professor is a fan favorite, so she is back. What's up, professor?
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Glad to be here. Always to support you.
Appreciate it. We got my girl, Sam. What's up, Sam? Good morning, team.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And then we got my girl, Callie. What's up, Callie?
What it do? What's cracking with it?
All right, y'all. So, like, this is, damn, I feel like this is another one that could probably go some hours. We're going to try to keep it cute, keep it brief, because I think, especially the three of us that have had that same experience, this is going to be kind of therapeutic. It's also kind of triggering. Sam says she's already triggered that we getting ready to talk about this person. But me and Callie are like, fuck that. We're not going to be triggered. Today is going to be released. You know what I'm saying? So
Liberation.
We're going to do it. So let's get into it. So we talked about the other day on TikTok about the different experiences that we have had or we have, and sometimes how we are the worst. Thank God now I'm in a space where I work for an amazing Black woman principal.
Yeah.
And shout out to her always.
Always.
Because I'm telling you, when we first got word that we were switching from a man to a woman, we were all kind of like, shit, we about to put our resignation in because we already know. And it's so sad that so many of us have had that experience before that we know we don't even want to do that again. But thank God she's been a godsend. She's been amazing. And so kind of altered, taking a bad taste of Black female principles out of my mouth. But man, when shit get bad,
it get bad.
She get bad. So kind of briefly want to talk about all of our experiences that we've had. I'll go first to break the ice, and I'm gonna talk briefly about my experience with probably one of the worst. I've had a few, but probably one of the worst that I've ever had. And this was probably about 7-ish years ago. I want to say maybe 7, 8. Sam, years ago.
8 years.
When this person first got here, now I was at a middle school where we had a Black female, and she had to go out because of health issues. And she was amazing. She happened to be one of my 10th grade English teachers at the time, or not at the time, prior to that. And she had to go out because of health reasons. And so we had to get another person in. And so the person we got in just happens to be coming from an elementary school where she was one of my son's elementary principals. And I was like, oh.
I did not know.
Yeah. There she was great. She was.
Pause.
Oh.
She wasn't.
She wasn't great. Okay. Well, as a parent,
no.
I'm going to say my experience.
Our mutual friend worked over
there.
I
remember that story.
She had the same issue
yes.
right there.
I was trying to get her to come on this morning too, but I think I told her too late. But yeah.
She had the same situation.
But not knowing that.
Yeah.
I'm, as a parent, which oftentimes we do.
Right.
We see all the great things. We see the elementary principals out there with the dressing up with the costumes and taking pictures and doing all the things. And I was like, oh, this lady coming over. Okay, she cool. Then I started hearing chatter. I was like, y'all tripping. That lady ain't that bad. I'm just going to be myself. And so I was myself, and everything was great for like the first year. The second year, I fucked up when she asked me to take over as department head, and I told her no. The second I told her, no, I don't think I'm ready for that, you tell her no, and then my life became hell after that. And so we had a coworker that was transferred to our campus from another campus that had multiple sclerosis. She had MS. and she was transferred to our campus. I think they were trying to get her out anyway, so they sent her to our campus where the Terminator was, because you know, if I can't get you to go this way, I'm just going to make your life hell and get you to resign, which is what their goal was. And she was going paper and pen her all the way out. So every little thing, possible thing that you could think of, she was gonna she did to this poor lady. And so you remember the lady I'm talking about? Okay. So it started because you remember the lady, she would have good days and she would have bad days. She'd have to be gone, and or the days that she was there were bad days, and she would be in a wheelchair and trying to come down that long ass hallway we had. And one day I was like, shit, she was trying to carry a purse and some copies and all kinds of stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna push her down the hallway because, you know, shit, she got to get the class. Her class was literally across from my class. Like, here's my class, here's her classroom, right? So what do some of these principals do? They ain't got nothing else to do. They sit in their office and watch the camera. And so she watched the camera, and I'm really making this story short, but she came and had a conversation with me. You cannot help her. You cannot help her in any capacity because her contract says, in order for her to be a teacher, she got to be able to carry, you know, how the shit that they put in your contract. You got to be able to lift 25 pounds. Right. You got to be able to stand for 8 hours. You got to be, and if you can't do that, then she can't fulfill her job. So you can't help her do any of those things. I was like, that's dumb.
That's evil.
Whatever. It is evil. But again, the district was trying to get this lady out. So they were using her as a tool to get this lady out. So they were going to do whatever they need to do. Anyway, make a long story short, y'all, I helped the lady a couple of more times because I'm not mean. And so something as simple as helping her unlock her door because she couldn't handle the keys in this. I think I got a write-up one time for writing. I came in her classroom and wrote her objective and the date on the board. Okay? Because you could not, the lady said, I've directed you not to help her at all. So that one thing just led to so many other things, little nitpicky things throughout the school year. And finally, me, you know, getting up out of there. She wrote me up like 3 times in a day. She wrote me up for responding to her email during the work day because I wasn't supposed to be on the computer. Remember that? I was supposed to be, you got one. I was supposed to be on the computer. But y'all, this lady gave me hell. And the thing about this lady is that you could not even look better than her. She had this thing. Do you remember we did the school name fashion show? Do you remember that faculty meeting we had? It was called, I'm trying to write it down because I can't say it. It was called the fashion show. It was a faculty meeting that she did. And she had like certain pictures and clips of without people's faces on their bodies and things that they would wear to say, is this acceptable? Is this acceptable? Do you remember that?
Remember.
Yeah. And it was, and then her famous line was like, especially if you gifted and talented in the chest area. Well, bitch, what am I? Gifted and talented in the chest area. And she tried to make my life and my friend's life, who's passed away now, hell, we were right next door to each other, but made her hell because my friend that passed away was baby stylish as hell. She was going to come with the thigh-high boots and the 10-inch heels every day and stand in them all day. She was cute. But you couldn't prance down that hallway looking better than the boss.
First of all, it wasn't too hard.
It was not, but
can I just put that out there?
But it was just so much negative, evil energy, y'all. And so that, I think I went to grievance level 2, 3 grievances with this lady. We had a time. We had a time until I finally got out of there. And do you know when I finally left, I didn't tell her. We had the whole Teacher of the Year scandal. You remember that? Yes. Where she told the people to take my name out the ballot so people couldn't vote for me, cheating, and then the dish area superintendent had to come down and get involved. And it was a shit show with this lady and me. And I ended up, like, you know, in the background working my way out. I knew I wasn't returning that next year. So the last month or so, I think she kind of felt it in her spirit too. So it was like every single thing that I can do to kind of tarnish your name before you get up out of here, I'm going to try to tarnish your name. Blocking me so I couldn't even transfer to another campus in the district. I had to like leave the district to get away from this lady.
You weren't the only one.
No, I was not the only one. Yep. And unfortunately, she's been promoted up. What is the term they call it in business? It's not promoted down, transfer. I can't remember. I'm gonna Google it. But she has now a higher position, higher pay, where she now goes and gets to make other people's lives miserable because she, in fact, herself was miserable. But it was just so many things. So many things, and so it really put a bad taste in my mouth working for Black women administrators and just how we, instead of coming and being in a position where you could empower and help other people and come together and really, you know, make some change, it was the exact opposite. So that's my experience in short. Y'all can read the whole series or watch the whole series on my TikTok channel. I did it's about 8 episodes of her. But anyway.
Wow.
Oh, it's long. It's long. It's deep. So that was my experience. So briefly, talk about yours.
I say I was initiated because that was my first year.
That was your first year
My first
teaching.
2 years teaching was in that place with she who shall not be named. I remember thinking I was proud one year because I was told that I had the highest star scores that first year and was feeling some sort of way about it. She lied. She flat out lied. And at the time, I remember feeling proud. And she took it away because I'm on this team with these amazing educators. And it was a way to manipulate. It was a way to have me on the inside, on her side. And she was so divisive. And I remember thinking on my way out how we trauma bonded. It felt like the whole campus trauma bonded because we were working together to leave and just be free of her. The fact that the district knew, I remember I had a transfer. Another campus wanted me, and I was so nervous because the year before she blocked someone, and we all knew it. That teacher was still on campus, miserable. All of us feeling so bad for him. Do you remember? In the math department?
Yep.
We were feeling so bad for him, and I knew what she could do. So had the transfer, was nervous that I wasn't going to get it. The other principal to the campus I was going to called me and said, I know what's going on. I have to wait until the last day to put the transfer in because if she found out,
she's going to block you.
She's going to block it.
Yeah.
And the fact that these other principals knew was still mind-boggling to me that she had that much control, power, and they're aware of it. And they were circumventing this crazy woman.
Yep.
And she's done that to so many people.
Yeah.
Like,
in
not
like
an isolated case.
No. And how so many other administrators know what's going on. That's the scary part. Because I had an administrator, when I was first trying to do the transfer thing to another district, another campus on the district, trying to help me in the background, quietly move around her, which is insane.
It's beyond. Where else does it happen?
Crazy.
Where else does
it happen? So when this person left and went to administration, got a promotion to the top, where they were able to make other people miserable, that's where you met them.
That's where I met that big thing.
That's where you met them. So talk about your story, your experience with this person.
So my experiences with her was very interesting because I was already in a situation with, this other lady. She's a white lady, and I was experiencing a lot of racism. I actually got moved to the district office because they wanted to watch me. At that time, I was the only black person on that floor. It's cubicle spaces, and they moved me on my day off. My daughter was sick, called in sick, moved me on my day off. One of my friends called like, hey, your stuff is getting moved. And I'm like, what? I'm at the doctor's office. Literally moved my stuff, came the next day. They set my computer up. And how the cubicles are set up where it's like, aisle, and, and they faced mine where you could see my computer. Mine was the only one facing like that. Everybody else was facing out, where you can walk and, you can see the person's face. So they had my back turned. And so, I went to HR and was just like, hey,
what's up?
I'm the only one that looks like this. Everybody else looks like this. Do you think this is ironic, or what's going on here? And so that's where it started off. So when she came in, because I essentially helped that person who was over me get out, right? So I had to go through that whole process of getting her out of her position. So that's how that position came open. So with that position being open, nobody could really qualify for that position, which she didn't qualify for the position. Let's keep it a buck.
Right.
She didn't. She didn't meet none of the qualifications because she didn't have the experience. In that particular program, you had to have said experience. She didn't have it. So that's why it took so long to fill it. So, but because she was having so many problems with you guys,
they had to get her the hell out of there.
They had to place her. And this good old boy district, they love placing people. I don't know what that's about, but for whatever reason, it's like you can do the wrongest, the doggest, the whatever.
That's any district.
They all like that.
Well, I'm speaking from experience, though, but I'm sure you get to get a promotion and a pay increase for whatever reason, right?
And a title, fancy title,
right? So she got moved over to my department. So, I was dealing with all of this kind of same thing. She came in and, we was cool and everything. And I was like, oh my God, Black woman, that's what's up. Love to see it. She came in super positive. Like, we're going to make some positive changes here. We really want to support everybody and we want everybody to feel heard. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. She's like, I have an open door policy. She came in and had a conversation with me, wanted to know my situation and everything else, wanted to know how she could support. I was like, okay, this is great. Everything was cool in the beginning, even when it had drinks, and, just
wow, y'all was
we was cool. Okay, we was cool, and like I said, because we were cool, and like you said, kind of trauma bonded as well. It was like she liked to eat now. She like. She liked to eat. She liked to eat hard, and she liked to eat big. So it was always like, well, come to lunch with me, and she loved Papa Dough. So it's like, she'll buy you everything. She hungry, so she gonna let you eat too. So I was like, whatever, we had lunch, cool. So we, drinking and eating, and it's all good. So I'm thinking everything's great. So then this other lady that I actually helped get into the district, ironically, she couldn't get into the district initially. She kept trying to get into the district. How I met her was we were PTO parents.
Okay.
She couldn't get into the district. She sent me her resume. I plugged her. She got a job. Cool. I actually helped her get another job in the one that she's in. She got that one because of me, too, because I wrote that job description. So she, made her way. But when she got over there with her, they decided to conspire against me. Like you said, it's one of those things where I don't know what it is about Black women in this sector, but when you exude any type of confidence, when you look a certain way,
yes, ma'am,
and you smell good, I smell damn good.
Hello, you do.
Let me just put it out. I smell amazing. They have a problem with you.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? This was years ago, so I was a little bit younger, but, a little bit smaller, before COVID or whatever. So, I'm cute, just doing what I normally do. I've been doing this my whole life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What I'm going to do is come in with some lipstick, some hoop earrings, and, some cute little whatever. I'm extra. I like that. I like hats, jackets, things. It's my thing. She don't like that.
Not at all.
She don't like none of that. So it was like I started feeling the energy from her, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm thinking we good. But I noticed when the attention wasn't on her,
amen,
then all of a sudden she started having a problem with me. And I'm like, I'm not even doing anything. I'm just coming in and, doing what I'm supposed to do. I am friendly. I'm cordial. I have a good attitude. I just met y'all, and, we can laugh and kiki or whatever. That's just who I am as a person. I go off of energy. So if your energy is good, we can crack up all day. And I think she just didn't like that about me because that's not the personality that she has.
Yep.
So anytime anybody exudes anything that she doesn't have, she gets very uncomfortable and really upset with you.
Very much so.
And it's like, honey, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? But now that you don't like me, now I'm going to know you. So then I had to find out about her because she decided to make my life hell.
Yeah.
Same situation. I had to go through grievances. She literally called me in for a bitch meeting one day. Can't even make this shit up. Can he make this up? Like, it doesn't even sound real because it doesn't. But I could literally call my coworker because she was in the meeting too. Call me in one day. We get a email, emergency meeting. All right, whatever. Go over to the admin because I had several campuses, so I would float around. Go into the admin to this meeting. And when I tell you, it was herself, the other chick who I got the help get the job, the white chick who I had the previous grievance on, my other coworker and another colleague. We were in the same position, and me in this room, literally it's like a lunchroom circle table, like we're sitting at in a closed room. And so they come in and they're just like, so what has Callie done to you?
What?
And I'm like,
what? Just off guard like that?
Yeah, she leading the meeting, and she's like, so what has she done to you? How do you feel about her? And I'm like, is this a bitch meeting?
What the hell?
I'm like, am I at work or am I at, where am I? Or is it, what? Literally. So they going around like, you make me feel like this, and you don't go to lunch with me, and I'm like, first of all, this is you guys' lives. I actually have a life. That's unfortunate. Like, I'm gonna stand on my shit. I really don't give a fuck. I don't. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you guys are friends. I have friends outside of this. When you guys leave here, you guys have nothing. I have kids. I had a husband at the time. You know what I'm saying? This is y'all life. Mine continues. I got stuff to do.
Right.
Yours ends when your button clicks. Okay. So that's unfortunate for you, but I'm a live. So I really don't care that I'm not eating with. I don't break bread with people I don't like.
Right.
That's just for me. I feel like if I'm breaking bread with you, that's something sacred. That's something intimate. You know what I'm saying? That's where you bond with people. That's where you share. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a good time for people to come together. So if I don't fool with you, I don't eat with you.
Right.
That's just how.
That's
I roll.
good.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? So when they were like, let's go to lunch, I'm not eating with y'all. So I would literally sit there because they were watching everything I did. I had to make sure if I missed a comma on the email, it was going to be a meeting about it.
Oh, wow. This
Yeah.
sounds so familiar.
Yeah, like I had to cross every T, dot every I. It was so much so that I started coming into work early and leaving late, because if I came in a minute, it was going to be a situation.
Document.
I was going to be written up. I was going to be. So I had to document. I was documenting on her. The other one, I was documenting on like 5 people at one time.
Who the hell wants to work in an environment like that?
I ain't doing all that.
And this went on for like 4 years. No lie.
Oh, hell.
I can't.
I did not know you deal with that long.
Yeah, the district knew. District knew, took it up to the district. That's why I was like, I think she must have been sucking somebody's dick.
That's well, I said you were doing some. You had to have some dirt on some people.
Because I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand, because the superintendent knew. He knew me by name and face. Because I called him out on some stuff, so he didn't like me, but he was lying, like in a board meeting, and I was just like, you know you lying. I'm gonna call you out on it. Whatever. Facts are facts.
Right.
You lied. But yeah, it was a crazy time for a lot of years, and I think she's still there.
She is.
Or whatever, which is, you know,
With a new title.
With the new title, because all they do is new title it or whatever. And she's messed up a lot of people's lives, a lot of, not only, I would say, staff, but she's messed up a lot of students' lives as well.
Oh, man.
So many families have been affected by this woman. And it's just amazing that she continues to do this. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm a firm believer. Everything happens for a reason. I know that lady is super uncomfortable in her own self.
Yeah.
I know that she is unhappy in her own self, and she ain't got shit going.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, she go to home to her mother, and nothing else.
I think that was a part of the thing, not only with her, but a common occurrence that we see with a lot of these women that we worked for that have this miserable existence, is that no kids, no husband, no nothing else but the job.
No prospects.
Yeah, they're married. They're married to the job, and that's all they have. And so this is the only thing that I'm great at. And so since I'm great at it, I'm going to stand in it and make everybody else miserable that's not as great as I am.
Yeah.
And because it would be something as simple as my kid is sick. I can't come to work today because my kid is sick. And then the next day when you return, you're in the office. It was a big deal. I will never forget going through, when I first got separated, I was getting ready to start going through my divorce, which I didn't even, tell her that. But I had 3 kids at the time. Well, shit, I got 3 kids. Three small kids at the time. And she would do things like call a meeting with me at 7:15 in the morning.
Same.
Well, I don't have to be at work until 8. But you're calling a meeting, and me, baby teacher at the time, or younger teacher, not really knowing that I could fight you on that. I have to now rearrange everybody's life to make sure that I can get my kids where they need to be and still be in this meeting. And I'll never forget getting to school one day for this meeting at 7:15, her being in her office, but telling the secretary, the receptionist, she wasn't ready. And I'm sitting, waiting. By this time, the bell has rang. The kids are in the building. It's time for me to get to class. So I tell the receptionist, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go to class because I'm just sitting here like a little peon, just waiting for her to tell me she's ready for me. And no sooner than I get to class and start my lesson, I get an email because I had you scheduled for a meeting. You did not come to a meeting. We need to have a conversation, which in her mind, conversation is right up because I told you to sit here. I didn't tell you to move. Yeah, you should have sat here and done what I told you to do.
Power trip.
It was definitely a power trip. Yeah. And even saying, okay, well, now you stay after school and have the meeting with me. Well, damn, I now have to go get these 3 kids and make sure that they're somewhere. But everything was power, and it was because the administrators that she had, the assistant administrators that she had at the time, I said this on TikTok and I'm going to say it, none of them have prospered. They are still assistants to somebody. The district would never. One of the assistants was another teacher that we had in high school. I'll write her name down. But she was the associate principal at the time. But she was when in 10th grade, sophomore English 2 at our school that we graduated from. She was the honors teacher. So I started with the first principal as my English 2 teacher, whose name was this. Her married name was this.
Oh, okay.
She was the principal. That's the one that got sick.
Okay.
And then old girl took over. And then this was our associate principal. Do you remember this lady? She was English 2 too. These were the 2 black English 2 teachers at our high school. She took over as associate.
I don't think I remember her.
Yeah, she took over as associate.
Okay.
Or she was associate principal.
I think she wanted to be fair.
She was definitely fair, but all the administrators under her leadership had to do what she told them to do, which is how we had the Teacher of the Year scandal. She made an assistant principal do that. She directed them to do that, but she never was going to have her hand in the dirt.
And my problem with her was, her problem with me was, I'm gonna stand on what's right. I'm not gonna follow you just because
you can't do that.
You think you the big bitch.
You cannot do that. She's gonna make your life hell if you do not do what she tells you to do.
Yeah, that's not me. So it was like, welcome to Cali. Because it's West Side. It's up. I'm not rolling with what you got going on. Like if it doesn't make sense, you know what I'm saying, and it's wrong, I can't stand on. You know, I'm still a person, and I got morals at the end of the day. Well,
that she didn't have. But before we continue on, I want to hear, you have a whole different experience, and I want to talk about because you almost got into a fight. You almost got it.
Yeah, I was sitting here listening to y'all, and I was like, dang, mine is total opposite because my principal was very active in the community. She was married. She had a kid. She was in organization. So she wasn't living a miserable life. She was black. She was astute. She was very intelligent. Taught the same subject I taught and started there.
As a teacher?
As a teacher.
Wow.
At the same school.
Wow.
And so we were also from the same neighborhood growing up. I went to one school. She went to the other school that's...
You can shout your schools out.
Oh, I went to Woodson. Shout out to Carter G. Woodson. She went to the other school that's on the other side, about 5 minutes away.
What's the other one?
Nah, that's too much.
Too much information.
Yeah.
All right.
And she picked me up, literally, from the teacher job fair. And I didn't know anything about her, but she saw my resume and asked me where I was from, and I told her. She said, "Oh, come on home." And I ended up telling her, "Hey, I went to this middle school when I was a kid." So for me, it was like a grand coming home. I feel like the prodigal son, daughter coming back, you know. I got old teachers that's still there teaching there. It was amazing. I was in heaven. Because they making sure I got everything I need because they know me and they all want to help me be this great standout teacher. And I'm in the same subject that she used to teach and things like that. I had a mentor teacher and everything that, we were tight. Shout out to the city. If you know the band, The City that is here in Houston, we all used to work together, have a good time. And she had this practice that she wanted when you put your bulletin board paper up on your wall, couldn't have no wrinkles.
Are you serious?
What? It had to be straight. So if you went and got it from the workroom and brought it back up, and by the time you put it on the wall, it had wrinkles and stuff, you had to take it out.
Because that's
Or
important.
if the paper wasn't straight. or if it was crooked, or if you didn't have your room set up like the layout on the paper where you had a
teacher
data wall and your anchor charts up. Mind you, the school haven't been, my mama went to this school as well, so it haven't been repaired since the 70s.
Damn.
So when I put my anchor charts up on the window and it's cold outside and the windows frost up, then my anchor charts melt. The markers melt. So she came in my room one afternoon when it was before school, I think, when we were putting up the bulletin board paper. No, I had put it up. School had started. But my bulletin board paper was a wrinkle. And all the other teachers who were there before me said, she gonna make you do it over again. I said, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna put this paper up, because they look at the paper and they saw a couple of wrinkles. They was like, such and such gonna make you, I call her Miss Trenchball. I know you seen Matilda. She gonna make you take this stuff down. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm young. Look, I told you we from the same hood now. But I done went to this PWI school. They done, soften me up a little bit. So I'm like, no, I'm just not going to do it. So she finally comes and sees the room, and she tells me it's okay. I don't have my data wall up yet. And I say, well, I got the data in my head, and, that's not good enough. But I can spit all it out. I can tell you, how each one of my students is doing this from the top of my head. But she didn't understand that I store stuff in my mind like that. So that was a problem. And then she saw that paper. And she said, come on, let's take it down and do it over again. I said, no, you're going to do that yourself. Because I wasn't doing it. And she went and got that paper, took it down, and did it herself.
Wow.
Okay. I'm just
So that was that
conversation. Like,
and then to keep it rolling, a couple of days later, she come back around and asked me about that paper.
And what happened with the paper?
And I said, no, my bad. She asked me about that data wall being up. And I said, well, it's in my head. And I started telling her and breaking down the data and what we was doing good at and this and that and about my each teacher and that and that. And then I walked away and I went to another coworker's room that I was good friends with, and I'm in there with her. And she come too. And she's still talking about this data wall. And I'm like, but why? At this point, I feel like you just want me to do it for show, and I'm not a for show person at that point in my life. I'm really like trying to navigate how this gonna work and what I need to do to be better at my craft. And so to me, it wasn't important, but to her, it was for a reason I don't know. And so she started going off, and she said, you need to do what I tell you to do. I'm the one who signed your checks. I'm the reason why you got them Coach shoes on your feet. And everybody know I love Coach. I still do to this day. She said, I'm the reason why you got that on.
Oh, no.
And if you lose some weight a little bit, you'll be a better teacher. And I remember till this day, because this moment lives rent-free in my head. I told her, I said, look, I know I am a teacher, but we can take this outside. I can whoop your ass right out there on that corner. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, my goodness.
And I meant that because that lady, and my weight fluctuates. It has always fluctuates. And her comment, my bad, I think I'm getting a little.
I was like, you going to scream on my mom?
Oh, my bad.
Calm down, that lady triggering you.
She is. I might have to give me a therapy
We're going to have
session
to
after
adjust
this.
the volume.
But that lady, she said that to me, and it has lived rent free in my head, and in the beginning it lived rent free, and it discouraged me a lot.
Is she still in education?
Yeah, she's still working that district at the top.
that's
At the top.
At the top.
Where is she now?
At the top.
Always.
But I pray to God that she grew from that, and that she a better person.
It's so positive that you pray for positive things on people, because I am the
All the
opposite.
time.
I need to do better, because I've always said, because of my experience with this particular person, I don't wish them well, and
Oh.
I don't wish the people that were under her not doing right by teachers. I am happy that neither of them have progressed, that they are still assistants, and some of them have gone on to get PhDs, and they still are assistants. And I say that it's because you did not stand up and do what was right by people. And that's the thing about being in leadership, right? Just why I say I could not be in leadership as much as I want to or would desire to be in leadership. I can't play that game. I can't do right. I cannot do wrong by people just because somebody else above me is telling me
Not at all.
that I have to do that. And so
No.
that's where we were. And I felt bad at the time. I don't now because it's like rest in peace. I don't care about any of them. But at the time I felt bad because one of the assistant principals who's now going on somewhere, he was like, I'm so sorry. He was coming to me like, I'm so sorry. And I will say, I'm going to give him a little props because he was instrumental in helping me get out and get away from her because he had done me so bad under her direction. And when I was trying to escape without her knowing I was trying to escape, you have to put the administrator's name on your referrals and blah, blah, blah. Like, he would let me use his name, and then so they would directly call him instead of directly calling her. And so by the time she found out, I had already signed my paperwork.
Right.
I'm gone. I'm already contracted, locked in somewhere else. But nothing great has come to any of those people that were under her leadership. And even
I wished them the worst.
I've always said that. And even I remember, these ladies always have minions. I call them minions. They always
They
have
do.
a clique of people that
They have to.
They
That's
have
the way
to.
they survive.
This is true.
They have to have a clique of people that'll do everything they
Everything
say.
they
They
say.
have a yes man
Yes.
corner.
Yes.
And let me say, later on that school year, because it's the beginning of the school year, she pulls me in her office and say, I'm going to groom you. I'm going to train you, but I'm already closed off to you because you already
Yeah.
done hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I'm young, And this happened over a decade ago. And little do she know, my current principal is the one that helped me heal from that
Oh, wow.
situation.
Shout out to the current principal.
Right.
Right.
And she taught me grace. And she didn't teach me grace, but she helped me get a more deeper understanding of grace. And it made me go all the way back to that situation. And it made me practice forgiveness in a different way.
Damn, she ain't
So-
touched me like that shit. Maybe I need to go sit in her office on Monday.
Maybe you have,
I need
you
to go sit in
should,
her office on
but
Monday. I need that.
I thank God for her because she helped me detach from that moment to be a better teacher. Like, I've always been a good teacher, but I feel like the last couple of years I've really, with the staff I'm with, with the administrators I'm with, they really pull the best out of me. They make me be better.
And that's what it's about.
And I think that's why I like coming to work. Some days I'm having an off day and they'll pick me up, but some days I'm on and I'm trying to pick them up.
Yes.
I'm trying to make everybody laugh because we
she was on
together.
one yesterday.
Yeah.
We together every day, all day. So I want us to have a good time. But I thank God for all of them because they have really helped me understand grace, forgiveness, and shaping me to be better.
That's awesome.
And heal from
from
that lady, that one person.
That one person. And people be like, it ain't that deep, but it is.
It is. And even like, so I'm listening to your story as a baby teacher and your story as a baby teacher. Like that.
What if I would have quit?
What if you would have quit? Like how many, and
Let me say I did quit.
you did.
I did quit. I quit that job.
Oh, okay.
She didn't even know. I sent my stuff right to the district.
Oh.
And they got ready to start the school year the next year, and they was getting on the bus to go to a retreat. They called and looking for me. I said, nah, I tell her I quit.
Wow.
I meant that because I stuck out the whole year, and I put that in because she had broke me down. And she ain't even know.
And so not only does this happen where these women have the ability and the power to break down us as adults, these women have the ability to break down kids, like you said earlier. And I remember my daughter, and I told this story. I need to go create a playlist of all the horror stories I had about Black women in leadership. But I remember my daughter was under the leadership of a principal at a certain elementary school, and this woman now is a principal at another school, and she's catching hell, and I enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. At first I felt bad, and then I said, you know what? I remember that you almost broke my daughter. And my daughter at the time was 3rd, 4th grade. You almost broke my child, and you were letting other Black women who were her teachers and who was the counselor break my child.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for me fighting like hell, I almost lost my damn job because it was one point I was going toe to toe with her so much, and I'm working in the same school district, that I had to like sign some paperwork, like some educational guardianship type paperwork, to let my mom step in and be the spokesperson so that I could keep my job because it was going there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Same.
and because I said, oh no, I can't work for the district and then advocate. That's the damn bad part about your kids working or going to school in the district where you teach at, is because you can't advocate like you see
Right.
how these other parents come for us and
Right.
get their way. I couldn't do that. I can't.
Oh, I
do
came
that.
for them. I didn't
Yeah.
care.
Well, I eventually did
Baby,
too.
you mess with my child, it's
Yeah,
up.
and that's
all
that's
the way
it.
up.
And especially when in our district is so small, right? You eventually you're going to teach somebody's child.
Right.
That's a principal somewhere. That's a
Right.
associate superintendent somewhere. Their child has the huge probability of sitting in your classroom being serviced. And I think in my mind, I treat everybody's child like I'm a mama to everybody's child, and I treat everybody's child how I want my child to be treated in your classroom. And so for you to be at this school treating my child like this, and then I'm at the school next door treating your child like they're mine, I ain't rocking with that. Like, I ain't fucking with that. And so now we got a problem. But now it's coming, like, I believe everything comes full circle.
It does.
Everything comes full circle. And now this person, because, you're promoted up, is catching hell.
Right.
And I say, at first I was like, damn, come on, y'all. Let's try. I'm in the community, like, come on, y'all. Let's get a lady a shot. Then I say, wait a minute, fool. This lady almost broke your child, your daughter. Like, while I'm the super confident building up my baby, my daughter hated going to school. She hated her two teachers, two black women teachers, and then this black counselor, and then all women, black counselor, black principal, black assistant principal. The assistant principal, black lady assistant principal, was the only one that was trying her best to fight and say, like, what they're doing to your child is wrong. She ended up quitting.
Yeah.
She ended up resigning and going to start her own business, because it's the only way sometimes you can get from under the hold that these women have
that
on
happens so often.
And we're losing great educators.
You losing great, and the crazy thing is, it seems like the great people are the ones who get it the worst. And I think that in terms of the one that
because you got that target on you.
Yeah. And it's like they know that you work hard, and the thing is they really know that you're better than them. You know what I'm saying? You're outside the box thinker. I go against the grain. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a person who has to traditionally do things, especially when it's like, we've been doing this. It's a more efficient way to do this. Like, let's bring some new ideas into this.
Right.
They didn't like that too much.
Yeah.
Especially because it wasn't coming from her. So I noticed
That's
that was
another thing. If it's not your idea, I can't put my stamp on it.
If I can't take credit for it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
It's
she
okay
would.
if I can take credit for
Yeah.
it.
That's what she would try to do. Like, hey, Callie, can you put this together? Hey, we need to do this. Da, 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 da.
I think that's a
try to-
historical issue, because
Yeah.
as black women, we don't never want to be the supporting cast.
No.
And I'm okay with that.
And it's like, what? I don't understand how we don't understand that we are a force together.
Right. And so you have people that say they operate under the guise of white supremacy.
Absolutely.
These black women administrators, because they are so focused on trying to be accepted themselves. And so, because I want to make sure that the people up here like me and know that I am capable of doing this job, I'm going to do whatever I got to do, but really, you're like the overseer. It almost gives very,
It gives slavery
very
vibes.
slavery vibes.
But
Absolutely.
let me say this. I'm going to go hard every day. And the reason why I'm going to go hard every day is because I need other people who are from the hood to understand that you can break these barriers, that you have a seat at the table. And, a lot of black people be like, oh, make your own table. No, I need to be at the seat with them, because these are the people with power that make changes. And until, the seesaw is levied equal, we need to be at a multicultural table versus a, solid black table, because the changes get made right here. And these changes that they make at this multicultural table impact our community. So we need to stop wanting to be in this little club by ourselves and understand that you have to integrate with your authentic self. Because there is another young black girl growing up from the same hood that I grew up in that want to know, what's my options? Because I don't like it here. Because it ain't the same here as if I go drive over into River Oaks. If I even drive down to Pearland, my hood ain't the same. I go to work in one place, but I live in another place. So I still have a connection to the other side.
right.
I see the other side.
Yeah.
So I need the other side to understand that you could go wherever you want to go. You could be wherever you want to be, and you could do whatever you want to do that you put your mind to. And don't let these stereotypes of society stop you. And if they accept you or not, you still go through the door and you hold your head up high and you give it your best shot. And that is what keeps me going.
Let me ask you this. I've worked at several schools, 3 different districts. Leadership changes more than we change. So
Yeah.
it's nothing to go one school year with 3 different building principals, because they rotate them. Oh, girl, they rotate them out like underwear. would y'all say that y'all's worst experience in education has been under the leadership of a Black woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn, that's crazy.
My worst
I've only-
experiences, period.
Period in life.
No, for honestly, because
That's
I'm
sad.
not from here.
Right.
I'm from LA, so moving here, I experienced the most racism from Black women
Yeah.
out of anybody in my life.
crazy.
I didn't even know. I really didn't even know what racism was until I moved here.
I think that would be
So I can
discrimination.
say that being from Oklahoma,
It was like a culture shock.
didn't know it till I moved here,
Yeah.
and it was a culture shock. And I didn't even see it. You don't even
know.
recognize what's happening.
They let you know. They let me know.
So that was a big adjustment. I can't say the most racism from the Black woman though. That was definitely at a predominantly white.
Yeah, not for me.
I think it hits differently when, like, I hate to say it, but I expect, you go into certain spaces and you just expect certain things. And so I'm not going to say that coming into Black spaces, I expected that, but now I've grown to be prepared for it. Understanding the difference between like prejudice and races, but I've had some experiences with under white women leadership. That's a whole nother episode, which we've done that episode before, but it's different with Black because you being a bitch, dog. Like this,
They know they are.
yeah, you know you're being a bitch, and you know you're being petty, and you know what you're saying is not even. It's women shit. You know what
Yeah.
you're doing, and so when you have a principal or a worker or boss situation, there's only so much you can say, to defend yourself or advocate for yourself without it being written up as insubordinate or whatnot. Professor, what you raising your hand for? We're not in school.
I was just thinking, I didn't want to interrupt you, but sometimes I think that people are doing what was done to them. And I think for a long time there was this culture of train them up, to endure this and to endure that. And you don't understand the back end, once you go up in leadership, you got to deal with this, that, and the third. So they're trying to quote unquote train you. But the thing is, I don't have to do that.
It's abuse.
I
Like
could-
you're telling me I have to
I
accept abuse
understand
because
that
you
it's
accepted abuse?
But
Yeah, no.
it could be a
There's a lot
culture
of people that
change
feel
at this
that way.
point.
That's totally.
You get what I'm saying? Like, if I'm coming, you gonna do it like this. I'm not taking that. And if I have to say no to a promotion, no to this, or no to some extra money, or a no to a handshake, so that I can have peace when I go home at night, so that somebody not talking to me crazy, then I say no.
I was talking to a really good friend of mine who happens to work at a school under the leadership of a Black woman, and she said that I was called into the office and told that I wasn't friendly.
I had that
I got
before.
that.
And I said,
And then I got RBF, and
Yeah.
I'm not nice enough.
and I said, well, what does that look like? And I feel like,
They told me to fix my face.
I got that a lot.
That's a huge thing. But
Fix my face.
a lot of these women have so many insecurities.
And don't project that onto me.
And that's exactly what you're
Right.
doing is dumping it onto me, because it's like you said, the way you look, the way you dress, the way you smell. Make sure your hair doesn't, like, this lady tried to micromanage every aspect of our personal lives, and it was all so that we would not outshine her.
Right.
And I will never forget that we went earlier to talking about minions. I was talking about minions earlier. I'll never forget she had these two minions. Two of them. I think one of them is
That's Gru.
in leadership right now, and I think the other one got out of education altogether. But she had these two minions out of public education. Okay, my bad. Okay, but she had these two minions, and they would do everything she told them to do. They were her spies. They were everything. So we could be in like just regular data meetings, and I could ask a question about the data, and they would report it back to her as though I was being argumentative and all these things like that, right? So until one of them, do you remember? One of them fucked up that reading data we had. It was a program that we had because we had a special
short hair, long hair. Which one?
long hair.
Okay. She's the one out of public.
Yeah, okay. She fucked up some program that we were getting a grant for. Because remember, we had 2 conference periods and one was for a grant. So she had this reading data, and she had messed up the testing, like loading the testing in the system the wrong way, and it screwed up the whole data. So now your friend who you're letting have extended lunches and they really don't get to do anything, now you, as the boss, are getting called to the carpet because one of your minions fucked up something.
Right.
And baby, did them tables turn on her so fast.
fast.
She turned the tables on that lady so fast to the
believe it.
point I'll never forget. That lady one day She called in the office to conference with her, meet with her, and I don't know what was said behind them closed doors. I just know like 30 minutes later, ambulance was called.
Yes.
Because that lady thought she was having a heart attack, but she was having a panic attack or whatever. That lady turned the tables on her so fast. And I was like, we were in the hallway or in the group chat or something like, well.
I feel so bad.
You felt bad because you were. She's always like the nice,
fuck all that.
the nice. She's such a nicest, softest person. Like I don't want to curse. I don't want to. And it was me, and it was the lady that was the leader of us. She retired. She's old school. She had been in the game forever. We were like, yeah.
I'd have been like, is the bitch on the floor?
What you doing? Because another thing, you had an opportunity, and I don't know if they were scared. I know this lady operates under bully. Like she is the definition of bully. So I can't say if these people were scared, but you were enjoying the perks you were getting
up until
That's the same thing as that slave mentality.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
I don't
Yeah,
wanna be
because
like y'all.
that's the in-house people.
That's the inside.
That's the inside people.
Yeah.
But what I will say is people always want to turn on people. That's why you ought to just do what's right.
I don't understand.
And you need to speak up.
For me, it's like, what happened to the treat people how you wanted to be treated?
People don't do that no more.
I'm like, that's
or
the
what
way I
happened
operated. You know
it's
what I'm
just
saying?
nice to be nice.
No,
Right.
because I don't feel powerful being nice. It
But I
doesn't
don't-
feel powerful.
But I'm like, that's something that's lacking inside of you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I feel powerful at all times.
I
Right,
feel
right.
especially powerful when I'm being nice.
Yeah,
but that's just
right.
me. But remember, we are operating, the three of us, we're operating as mothers.
Yeah.
Operating as spouses or lovers or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
And when you come in happy under somebody that's unhappy with what they
Yeah,
got going on when
it's
they walk out their door, it was like you literally could not be happy around her.
No.
You could not smile. You could not be positive. You could not do anything. You had to be miserable.
She enjoyed just taking stuff away.
Oh,
Like
man.
just because I can.
Oh,
I'm gonna give it to you
man.
and
She
take it
yeah.
away.
She really
Man.
relished in trying to making your day bad.
Yes.
But the thing is, I was like, bitch, you're not gonna break me.
Yeah, and that was her thing.
You're not
She
gonna,
wanted to break you.
She enjoyed breaking
She
people.
wanted to break you, and
that
when
was
you
her whole
didn't
purpose
break,
in life.
she was gonna
She
mash
was
the
gonna
gas
push
until
harder.
you could break. And
But I was like, well,
I did
bitch,
work under a
I was like, we
principal
gonna
that
die.
was like that. And let me say that ironically enough, I wasn't one of their minions, but they liked me.
yeah,
And so I didn't feel the wrath
Right.
that other people would feel, but I was almost like a counselor sometimes
to the people.
to the people who was feeling the wrath, and to like, I felt like I was like a person that helped them walk through it. Like,
Yeah,
come
try
on,
to
let's get
balance
through
it
it,
out for 'em.
because I didn't feel what they felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you never know. And you know what's crazy about what you just said? Talking to all of the men that have worked on that campus where we were, they all say, oh, shit, she was cool with me. She was cool with me.
Yeah,
And
'cause she loved the men.
She loved the men.
Well,
except
they
for
didn't
the
love
ones
her.
that
they didn't love her in that way.
They didn't love, but she wanted them to.
Yes, but they loved her because she was not messing with them. Because and like I still
'Cause
talk to
she
one of them
wanted a
today.
man.
Yeah, you were never a target, and you were always gonna
Right.
go along with whatever she said. Because remember, we got an influx of very, very young teachers at
Yes.
one point, like fresh off the stage, young teachers.
were all there.
Well, yeah,
That's
y'all were
why I was
all
one of
together.
them.
Yeah, that's right. And so still very moldable, very impressionable, and so. She could come in the office and tell them to do whatever, and they're just like, yeah, I'm just happy to have a job. I'm happy to be 23 years old, making $50,000 a year.
She
so
really
yeah,
wanted the attention.
Yeah.
Anytime a man would give her it could have been the janitor winking at her. That would give her
That sets her
the
off.
hope and the wish and the prayer.
But it got
that
to
she
the
been waiting on.
point, like, even before she and I fell out, I felt like I had to compliment her. Like, you had to give some type of positivity to her to stay on the good side. So it would be, because she would talk about my hair all the time. Oh, you got your hair done. Who did your sew-ins? Okay, give me this person's
Which
number.
hers was
Da, da, da,
never
da, da.
tight.
But at one point, like, she used to have, her hair used to be really pretty when I gave her the number to the lady that was doing my
she
hair.
must have went to somebody else when I seen it.
So just complimenting her, and even just finding myself giving her fake compliments just to stay
I
on
ain't
the
doing
good
it.
side. This was before.
I ain't
this
doing
was
it.
before. But with her, once she gets her nails in you, like once it's in her mind or on her mind to come for you,
She gonna scratch.
it's
and claw,
gonna come.
honey.
Yeah.
It's nothing you can do that you're gonna be able to pull yourself back from. She is going to come for you until
She tried.
breaks.
She tried. She tried to break me real bad, but she met.
Yeah. She met a match.
She met a match.
I think she met her match with you. She met a match with me, or she met a match with my
'cause
friend
I
that
was
passed away.
Yeah, I was like, here's the deal. So my mom is an educator. She's been an educator my whole life. So my mom worked in Compton. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm used to being in an education setting before I even got into this line of business. But my mom used to literally bring me to her school. We were on year round, and we would have to go. Literally, I'm supposed to be on summer break, and she would put me in her school. So I used to have to go to school in Compton. I realized that those teachers were the most hardest working teachers. And I'm a kid. I was in like 5th grade. But I learned the most in my whole life in them schools in Compton from those teachers.
Yeah.
No lie. Hardest working, best people in the world. My mom, she used to bring our clothes and stuff to kids and stuff at the school. Like, I really just was able to see, what was going on there. But the impact that they were making on those kids. And my people have always told us, you treat everybody the same, from the CEO to the janitor to everybody in between. So I don't get into how many commas you got in behind your name, or how much money you think you got, or whatever, or how much money you don't got. None of that really matters to me. I'm a person who stands on morals and who you are as a person. So when she came and thought she had commas behind her name, bitch, I don't give a fuck. I gives no fuck. And you want to come for me in this job? Bitch, I got a husband at home. I'll leave this shit right now.
Right. Women love to be like, I got a man. My man got 2 jobs.
I got a husband who has a home. What? Like, this is nothing. This is not a career for me. Like, if this is what you do with your life, that's where you start and end, bitch. I still got shit to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, you're not going to press me on this. And if you want to come for me, I'm going balls to the wall. Bitch, you're going to have to kill me. I'm going to have to die, because I'm not letting you take me out. And when I leave, it's going to be on my accord.
on your terms. And I think some people she was able to push out like that. Some people, some of us were able to create a path and go out on our own accord. I know when I went out, if I'm gonna go out, you going out with some paperwork. Because remember, we had a lady that had a federal case against her for discrimination against her disability.
To the union.
Yeah,
I was literally about to go to. I was about to go to the news station. I was about to have that bitch on Telemundo.
You did go to the news station. Do you
Damn,
recall those
why y'all
emails?
didn't
yes, she got. It was somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote an email and sent it to all the news stations.
I was about to do that.
Oh,
I was
my
gonna
God.
put
And
my
we were all
face
trying
on
to figure out who did it.
Who did it?
We were in each other's rooms trying to figure out who did it.
I was just trying to make sure when I did it that I was completely on my way out.
Right, you had to be done.
Yeah, because I was not even gonna be anonymous. I was gonna put my black ass face on the TV, on Telemundo, and whoever hell else want to talk to me. Yeah, this big raggedy bitch. I have been fighting her for 4 years. I literally got 4 grievances against this hoe, and I done went to the state of Texas. What we doing?
It's so crazy.
She tried to hold that one lady back who got the principalship.
Yes.
She won't, because I don't want you to leave.
No, yeah, and that's another thing that we talked about.
Me.
You're such a terrible person while you're
raggedy,
here,
but she wouldn't
But
let
I
you
don't
go.
want to let you go somewhere else and be great.
She wouldn't let you go.
And even though as much as she hated us, we were bringing the data in. Like, our numbers were off the chart. So you really did need us, and you didn't want us to go anywhere.
Because you was making her look
great.
good at the end of the day.
Because it was nobody that was going to go in the room and teach. And anything, even like that was a part of my grievance. Some of my grievances, I think I had like 3 or 4 against I asked too. I never got emails about instruction. I never got emails about complaints to parents. I never got any of that stuff. It was all personal stuff.
Yeah.
Do you remember on the last day of school? Do you remember this, the last day of school? That lady called my name on that PA system so goddamn much. She called me in the office one time, first time, and she had the other administrators with her. She had to have a witness, right? She had to have the witnesses. And her witnesses, I realized later, her witnesses were not witnesses to have on paper for legality purposes. Her witnesses were for her to flex her muscles in front of my other APs to show them this is how you go and you can break somebody down, right? So I'll never forget being in this meeting. I had 3 of them in one day. First one, the second one, I can't remember which one it was. She said something, and I was trying to talk, and she said, shut up, don't talk while I'm talking. She said something like that. And I said, who are you talking to? I said, I'm not these kids. Don't talk to me like that. And she was like, are you I said, don't talk to me like that. I'm not one of these kids. That meeting ended. I went back to my classroom, called my name back over the PA system to come back. I had a write-up for disrespecting her. because I told her not to talk to me like that. And then while I was in there, she said, it was the last day of school, bitch, last day of school. I had on some jeans. I think I had a hole in the bottom of my knee, right? Called me back in the office to write me up for being out of dress code on the last day of school, where there are no kids in the building.
Right.
All we doing is working and tearing down our rooms. I had a pair of jeans on with a hole at the bottom.
She would be what I call, in my lessons, a tyrant.
She very much so was a tyrant, is a tyrant. Very much so is a tyrant. But these are the type of women that, why I stay in the classroom is because they will break. And they really only target the black girls and black boys, more specifically the black girls.
Yeah.
These women will break little black girls
Down.
I'm telling you,
nothing.
like, oh my God, I wish I could
nothing.
talk more about my daughter's principal that she had. But they will break them down. And so it got to be some of us
Yeah.
in the classroom still.
I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight your ass.
Somebody gonna have to build the confidence and the
I always
courage up
say
in those
that
girls.
I'm a student advocate.
Absolutely.
I say that all the time because sometimes I have to advocate for students against their own parents, against another teacher, against an administrator.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what I know,
Exactly.
and I take
I've done that.
time to get build relationships with my students, so they talking to me,
I've done that.
and it's more than just teaching and educating. And if I'm not building them up,
Right.
I'm advocating. And if I'm not advocating, I'm educating.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this feels so embarrassing to say that I want to say, first of all, my best teaching experience, with the exception of right now, where we are right now, has probably been under men, and I hate to say it, white men.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, I hate to
I
say
knew
it.
you
I
was
feel like
gonna
I'm gonna
say
get
that.
canceled.
Say that.
I feel like I'm gonna get canceled, and I don't know if it's because I'm always at my time. I'm maxing my time limit out with this with the producer. Let me hurry up. I don't know if it's okay. I'm gonna get canceled for this too. My experience working on the white men principals has been because I'm so good at my job, and because other black women on the campus are so great, so good at what they do. It's kind of like a well-oiled machine. Like, it runs itself.
They're going to let you shine.
They're going to let you shine because you shining makes me shine.
And that's what they know.
That's what they know. I may not like y'all asses, but I know y'all coming in here, y'all gonna work.
Making me look good.
Y'all gonna do that. And then they're used to having somebody else run their life.
Yeah.
And so now I got these black women. They talking crazy to the
Which
kids.
they secretly want to be with
They want to be with
anyway.
anyway. Hello. And they don't like talking to our parents. So what
Oh
are
yeah,
we?
so it's like
We
a
are
scapegoat.
Man, come on. But I've never had any smoke with white male administrators.
Yeah.
White women, yeah. But again, like I said earlier, I expect everything that's coming out y'all mouth, everything you finna do, I expect it. I'm never blindsided by
Yeah, 'cause we know who you are.
We know who you are. I'm not, it is what it is.
And the thing is, they know who we are. So
You
they
know,
ain't going to come too crazy.
You gonna
with
try. You gonna try.
They going to push.
They gonna hit the
We
smart
gonna try.
comment button, but that's all
And
they
then,
gonna
bitch, I'm
hit.
coming back with mine. Cause
And then I'm gonna go too far.
And then they going to sit
And
down.
then it's gonna be like, you know what? Let's cut it out.
Yeah, let's just.
Let's just talk about this.
Oh man, you making me think of this lady I had. She, as an assistant principal at one school, she thought I didn't turn my lesson plans in. So she sent me a nasty email, a little nasty gram talking about my lesson plans and talking about the expectation on this campus is blah, blah, blah. It is unacceptable for you to do blah, 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 right? And so I said, well, wait, I know I turned my lesson plans in. So I responded to her, hey, I think your email is unacceptable and I think you should look in this folder. My lesson plans are in this folder, right? Left it on. I'm in the classroom the next morning, writing my objective on the board, because, that's the only thing to make you a great teacher. Writing the date and writing my objective on the board. And she comes in all meek and, can we talk? I was like, what's up? Well,
Keep that same energy.
I thought your email was rude. I said, well, I thought your email was rude. Well, I just didn't like the tone. I didn't like your tone.
We're returning the
Well,
energy.
I felt like what you said was disrespectful to me. I felt like what you said was disrespectful to me. Like, I'm going to be as much of a victim as you are. But she's like, well, I didn't realize that I didn't look in the right folder and blah, blah, blah. But
Well, put that in writing.
Yeah, but even still, you have to watch the way you talk to me because I'm the superior. No, you have to watch the way you talk to me. Like,
I'm somebody.
Right. And
I don't give a
She-
damn about your
Like that,
title.
'cause
she
I'm
was
somebody.
she was all first of all, she's still an administrator and she's the most awful. We talked earlier about mediocrity, and I think she would be probably the definition of mediocrity. Like,
It's funny you mention that because that's the motto in my classroom. I'm not a mediocre teacher, so I'm not going to allow you to be a mediocre student.
Well, we have
Turn
mediocre
it as
leaders.
mediocre work.
I might steal that for next
we have
that's good.
mediocre, and even on top of them being mediocre, and another reason why I stay in the classroom, and not to go make this episode another episode 8 of what when we had the episode of corporate and educarans, because I don't want to spin it back to that, but we got I'm gonna say a group text not too long ago about the retirement of a leader in a certain district, and who's gonna come RSVP for this celebration, yada yada yada. And at first I was like, F her. I ain't coming to, like, I'm glad that bitch getting out of education. I'm not gonna come celebrate her. Like, I'm glad. And then I said, you know what? I had to sit and think, how many black kids I know personally this lady has ruined.
As affected.
And I want you to hurry up and get the hell out of education.
That's
But
the
my
crime.
fear is that they're gonna replace you with
Somebody
a
else.
younger
Another you.
a younger you.
And
That's
that's what
going to stay longer.
They got the energy.
You know, because a lot of times, you know, I think about what if I would have let that person groom me,
Yeah.
and then I would have been, you know,
Like 'em.
just like that person. And then my whole tenure in education, I would have been just like that person.
yeah.
If I would have accepted the way that person made me feel and said, oh, well, maybe this is how it's supposed to be
Right.
for right now. I got to take this to work my way up. But I said, nah, I'd rather not go up. I'd rather wait.
I'd rather wait. And you said earlier, talking about the current administration that you work under, which I so happen to work under, but probably one of mine. She's not the only. I've had like 2 other black female administrators that were amazing leaders, and I still keep in contact with them to this day. One works on our campus. She was my very, very first principal.
Oh, wow.
She retired and she came back to. Yes, and so she was probably one of my
She's
first.
awesome. She's
my first-
phenomenal.
my first
Actually,
experience.
any encounter you have with her, it leaves you feeling warm
all the time.
every time.
Every time. But when we talk about like our current administrator and black women, because I want to make sure that I say that this is not all black women principals, because
It's not.
people
Yeah,
you have to make a
we
disclaimer.
not overgeneralizing.
Yes, you have to make the disclaimer, because people will say, "Well, not me," or "I'm not that kind of principal," or "I don't work for that kind
We're
of."
talking
we know
about
that.
individual, real life
Right,
experiences.
lived experiences. And the woman that we work for now is probably one of the best in the district, period. And people
Man,
want
she
to,
the best top down.
yeah,
Not
people
tell
want
her
to
her
get
face,
to
you know?
our campus and work for her.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and when I say work for her, she likes to say, "No, y'all work with me," and it's like, nah, sis,
boss.
you a boss, like you a
You a
leader.
boss.
We work for you, because there's nothing that she can ask us to do that we're not gonna do, because we know when it comes down to it, she gonna be 10 toes down
Down.
for any parent that comes to the office with that shit. Any district person that come down trying to say something, she is gonna be 10 toes, and she is a put your family first person.
Yeah.
Right.
She
Makes
don't
a
care.
huge difference.
She is a put your family first type of person. She is a mental health kind of person.
Yep.
I talked about it on another episode I had. One day, sometimes as mothers, as single mothers, sometimes we just get overwhelmed with our own kids and just life and just being busy. And I'll never forget, I got to work one day and I was late. I mean, I was sitting in the parking lot, but it was like 8:05, and I text her and I said, "Hey, I'm here. I'm in the parking lot. Like, I need to get a minute to get myself together." And that lady came to that parking lot, and she just started like black mama in me. And I just like,
And she does that.
I just started crying. And I'm not a crier, but this lady had me in the parking lot crying, because she was like, "You got too much on your plate. You got to do this. You got to take some of this stuff." Even at work, like even on my campus, I run every damn thing. I got so much on my plate. She's like, "Nah, okay, we finna take this off. You need to make such and such do this, make such and such do that." But never made me feel inadequate, never shamed me, never judged me, never made me feel any of those things. And we rock for that lady. It could be a parent in the front office going off on her, and here we
Oh,
come.
and I'm coming.
We coming. Like, because who you think? You're not talking to
You
our
ain't
boss
talking
like
to her
that.
like that.
Because that's just how she is. And it goes, it's not just her. It's when you are that type of leader, you create that type of environment. And so it could be, it's her secretary.
Yep.
who we don't play about her either.
Yep.
It's
It could be the lady sitting at the front desk.
the receptionist at the front desk. We
I
don't play about her.
either. That's my birthday twin.
We don't play about. We got a
I don't
white.
even
We
play
got a
about
white
the
man.
AP.
We got a white man.
I go to
AP.
blows for them too, because guess what? She has taught us to be a family.
Yeah.
And when I say be a family, I consider this my family. Like, you know, Ridgemore Forest Finest. When I first came back to the campus, because I was there and I left, you know, she didn't know me, but because of who we sit under, I'm talking about this real top tier leadership we sit under. She bring us together. She bring the best out of us,
Supposed to. Be.
but she bring us together.
Right.
And I really think that's her New Orleans style.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I
what-
told
yeah.
her the other day, you know, I love that
about
her because she brings it.
Yeah.
You know, New Orleans people are very family oriented.
I love that.
They very tight knit.
She is.
And she bring that to us. I brag about her all day.
All day.
But I'm just talking about how she bring us together. I ain't even got into her tact, her craft. You know, her intellectual capabilities. I ain't even got into her the way she dissects stuff, because she understand every subject. Catch her in a data meeting.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I could brag about her anyway.
And she's not closed off.
And
to
she
ideas.
not cocky. She not.
That's good.
She not prideful. She humble. She'll be like, "Oh, show me how to do that."
Yeah.
But that's a real leader.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
real leader.
But guess what she
understands
doing
that.
though? Not only is she teaching us how to be better people, but she teaching the kids that
Exactly.
we teach
Yeah.
how to be better people.
Yeah.
So it's like trickling down.
Because
from the
Grace,
top
when you
down.
said Grace earlier, I hate that word, but when you said Grace earlier,
You can't even refute what I said.
yeah,
though.
I can't because she shows so much grace when it comes to even disciplining those kids. Like,
Right.
those kids, you know, some kids are like, oh, I don't like my principal, I'm scared of my principal. Well, not scared, they don't respect the principal.
Right.
These kids ain't scared of shit.
They
now.
ain't. They're different.
But they want to go to her. They want to go to her. And this lady know all her students
kids.
on that campus. We got
Man.
1,500 kids on that campus.
And she
That
know
lady
every one
everybody.
of
She
them.
know everybody's story. She know. So I said this before on another episode too. She could walk in and do an observation. Sometimes I could be like, ooh, it's not a good day. And she'd be like, all right, I'm going to come back. She's not, she's not that. She could walk in and do an observation and see a kid with head on the desk. She's not going to ping you for that because she's going to say, oh, little Jacob started that new medication. I already know why he's sleepy. Like, it's all good. I'm just
Right.
And I don't know if it's that she's a mama, a wife,
I don't think it's that. You have to just have a passion for greatness of what you're doing,
Yeah.
because it invokes greatness in me, because I know all my kids.
Yeah.
Backwards and forward.
Yeah.
And you know I do. And then the ones that don't sit in my class, that come hover under me every day. I don't
The
know
ones you
where
came and
these
got up
ones-
out my class yesterday.
It's all love. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to meet somebody that do what I do, it makes me feel like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm on the right track. So
Yeah.
let me be better at what I do.
But it's also no secret. I should tell y'all too, because I know y'all not on our campus. While we are number one in everything when it comes to data, and it's not. It is absolutely a direct correlation between the leadership,
Absolutely.
and who we got.
I'm
Because,
talking about all three leaders.
yeah, all three leaders. There's nothing they cannot get us to do, and because we know they gonna go hard for us, we're gonna go hard for the
them.
kids, and we're gonna go hard for them. So
Yeah.
even on my off days where I don't feel like I'm still gonna go in that classroom and give it all I got, because I know on their off days they coming and giving up.
I'm like the postman, okay? Rain, sleet, or snow. Okay, I'm gonna get here.
You gonna get here. You
one way or another.
You do, because you was late.
You know, but I'm coming though.
Man,
Man, look, I was having some
She
complications. I was having a rough week last
Yeah.
week, but I was coming though.
Yeah.
They know I'm coming.
Yeah, so we got to put that out there, because I want to say as many negative. We could talk about this all day long too, but as many negative experiences that we have had with Black women leadership.
I thank God I got this
Man,
one right now.
this one right here, and I say, man, you need to start some consulting. You need to do something, because what you have is a gift. Like,
Right.
you can't
can't
train
duplicate that.
You can't.
It got to be in you.
That's in you, and that's why she's a great leader, because she's just a great person.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people that they want to be bosses so bad.
yeah,
so they
but
go
you can't
into
be a
edu-
boss until you love, until you ready to
But
serve.
they don't. But I want the title. I want the money. I want the
Exactly.
power, and that's what they think about. And she's not like that, which is why you get the results that you get. And so when you have other people, even in our small little area that we teach in, when you have some other Black women administrators who don't have the success that she has, who don't have the the people that leave our campus leave for promotions.
Right.
They don't leave our campus because they want to go transfer to another school and do the same
Right.
thing that they're doing. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that we haven't had one or two, but they've been trying to get from under the leadership of,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Because you just, sometimes you don't want a
Right.
black woman telling you shit
Exactly.
if you're not one of us. So we've had a couple that have gone to go back to where they could be led by people that look like them because they don't like what she got. Because it's fair and it's nice and it's graceful as she is. She don't play about them kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you come in here and you're not about the business that is these kids on this campus, and
Then
you
you
might
gotta
have to
go.
find you somewhere else
That's
to go
what it
because this
should
is
be.
not where you need to be. So
I will say this, based off a comment you just made, like
Mm-hmm.
somebody told me once a long time ago that money come and go. So if you chasing the
that's
money
Mm.
and you trying to get promotions, chasing the money, you're going to crumble every time because you don't have a foundation to hold yourself up.
Yeah.
So I just want to put that out there for all the listeners.
I think that's a good place for us to close it.
Yeah.
I like that. That was good. So even though I feel like this is a conversation that we could have all day long, I did want to give us a kind of opportunity to do some therapy and to release the shit that you, especially you, Sam, you had some shit. I am still fuck that bitch to the day I die. That's me, right?
Yeah.
But you never had that type of energy. You've never
That's so
had that type
great.
of spirit. So, but I did hopefully want to make this an opportunity for you to release because you are now on your way to leadership and you now know what not to do, what to do, what not to do.
And I'm listening to what to do.
Yes,
So thanks
yes.
for that last
But because you have had the lived experience of a terrible administrator that possibly could have broken you, you now know, number one, to go in and never break your teachers and definitely never break the young black girls that come in your school under your leadership. So some of those experiences are great. And I ain't gonna lie. I hate that I went through that shit that I went through with that lady, but I don't regret it. Like I'm grateful.
thankful for it.
I'm grateful
Yeah.
for that experience because it, like you said,
It built
taught
me up.
built
It taught me
some shit.
lessons.
Man,
And
that
it
brought
taught me
whole
how to
nother
better
beast out into
Yeah,
my house.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
shit.
yeah. And I'm grateful that my daughter had the experience that she had with the two black teachers. I taught both of their kids too. I taught the principal's kids. It's so crazy, but they're no longer in education. Thank
But I
God.
bet you didn't go back and treat their kids like
I would
they
never,
treated yours.
because that's not in me.
All right, see?
I never, and I made it a point. I'm because I'm a bitch, and I'm gonna make it a point to say that. So I always made it a point to make sure that you know, here we are. But you knew it was a sad part because like you didn't even have to worry about that because you knew you wanted your kids in my class because goddamn it, I was the best at what I did on my campus. So you wanted your kids were in great hands, and you knew your kids were in great hands.
Yeah.
But my kid wasn't in great hands down there with you. But I'm not gonna
like
be
that.
evil for evil because that's not who I am. I'm not a shitty person, so I don't mistreat kids because I believe in karma.
I don't play with
I don't
kids.
play with kids. I don't do wrong by kids. I don't play that shit.
That's where you cross the line at. If you listening, don't fool with people kids.
Oh
do
man, that's how you bring a whole nother person on somebody.
Right.
Anyway, so we gonna go wrap it up. I do again appreciate you ladies coming out and sharing y'all's experience. It's more like a vent session.
Yeah, anytime.
Therapy again. I hope everybody is healed and released. Everybody was able to release.
Even though it was more like a vent session, think about how many people gonna listen to this and relate to what we talked about.
And I want them to be able to release that shit too.
Right.
Guys, if
Go
you
talk about it.
have been under
Go
the
to
leadership
therapy.
of somebody and you are still holding on to the shit, the damage
Get healed.
that the trauma that a black woman administrator has done to you, let that shit
Let it go.
Yeah, don't hold on.
Let
to
it go, please,
doesn't
because
serve you.
it doesn't serve you. And you want to make sure that you being great for the next young black
Right,
girl
right,
that's
right,
in your
right,
classroom. And so we ain't holding on to none of that negative shit because they going to be miserable regardless. Like this lady is, I know she's still miserable.
I told you I
Still
seen her
miserable.
in the store.
Shut up. Anyway, we going to cut the mic because she going to say something crazy.
Unhappy.
I
Looking
said-
around the aisle.
I always said,
Picking
if
up
I saw her,
candles.
it's on
Ain't
site.
got nobody to give them to.
Nobody.
You know, and I'm on trips. You know what
I
I'm
wonder
saying? Every other
is that
month.
that man that she was. Anyway, cut the mic. All right. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Richmond Forest Finance, the podcast. We're going to talk off the camera, off the mic. Good day. This podcast was made possible by producer extraordinaire D. Francis at the legendary Lab 7 Studios in Mo City, Texas.